Were you surprised to be nominated/selected as a Woman of Woodland?
Yeah, I was definitely really shocked. When Mrs. Geary and Miss Oliveira came to the class and took me out, I was so confused until she told me what happened. I had no idea what was going on.
You read the reasons why you were nominated and selected. Do you agree, and how would you describe yourself?
Yeah. The reasons, they were pretty, me. A lot of them were about just like the leadership I do in journalism, about skincare, just about, how I stand up for what I believe in, and, that's how I would really describe myself. You don't want to be that person that sits there and watches and doesn't do anything about it. You feel better. You'll make yourself feel better if you know that you did something to help somebody else.
And what are some personal beliefs that guide you in the decisions that you make?
A lot of decisions I make are based on, personal instinct or gut feeling. I don't really like to sit there and think and overthink about things. I just like to, trust in my gut and trust in what I believe in and try not to take influences on what other people are trying to tell me to do. I just like to, follow my heart, follow my head, and just make my own decisions based on how I feel.
In what ways do you try to make our community and the world a better place?
Around our community, I definitely try and stay positive and spread positivity, be nice to everybody. I just think that when you're a negative person and you're a mean person, you're not, progressing, you're not getting any better as yourself. So in my community, I like to spread positivity and spread kindness so that other people can do it too.
Why is it important for you to identify as a feminist?
It's important to identify as a feminist because I believe that women are so badass. And it's important to stand up for our rights and stand up for what we believe in because, throughout history we've been brought down so many times. We still are brought down for, trying to make ourselves equal, but I think that we shouldn't stand down and we should keep voicing our opinions and be strong and be confident.
Nice. And what is one thing about feminism that you think everyone should know?
One thing about feminism everyone should know is that all feminism is about being equal. So if you're a man and you believe that women should be equal to men, then you're a feminist. People tend to think like, oh, feminism, they're trying to whatever to get better than us, all this kind of things. But, a lot of people make fun of feminists. But, if you're a person that believes in equality among us all, then you're a feminist.
How has traveling impacted you and your view on the world?
Traveling has definitely changed me so much and changed my view so much because, when you go somewhere new, you think that it's gonna be so different, but then you realize we're all the same all over the world, We all do the same things, we all, we're all normal, we're all the same people, no matter if I'm here or if I'm across the world,
Yeah.
And it's just different, it's just cool to see how we're all the same, but we go about things differently. They practice different things, they preach different things. It's really interesting.
From the few places you have visited, what are some very memorable experiences?
Definitely Cuba. When, all I used to hear about Cuba before going there, I just knew that Cuba was hard to get into and Cuba was very impossible for the people to get out of, so there was not really much to know about it. And when I went there, I just noticed how insanely intelligent the people are. They have the highest literacy rate, 98% in Cuba. They are so smart. They are such nice people, it just makes me feel really sorry for them that they have to be under this rule and that it's so hard for them to leave the country, to leave the island, because if we make connections with Cuba, we could do so much as a country on our own because because they are so smart, they already have they have vaccinations for HIV. They have a lung cancer vaccination. They're creating such these cool things, and if we didn't restrict so much with them, then they can bring these things to the US and we can get better as a country, but we don't want to for whatever reason.
You traveled to Israel. How was that, and what were your experiences like there?
It was very cool. It was very cool because in Israel there's so many different cultures and religions that are there. There's the Jewish religion, there's Muslim religion, there's Christianity, there's Catholics, there's almost not every, but a lot of religions believe that their God started there. So it was really interesting to see all the different kinds of people, to see how they practice their own religion. Everyone's very respectful to each other. They're respectful of their own religions. I visited a lot of Jewish sites. I visited, Muslim sites, Christian sites, Catholic sites, just to learn more about it, and because you don't want to be ignorant and not know about other sites just because I may not believe in that or practice that. It's good to learn about it. Mm-hmm. So
yeah. And how was your experience getting baptized there?
Oh wow, it was so amazing. So yeah, I got baptized in the Jordan River because my aunt is a pastor, so she baptized me, and it was just really, it's like a revelation, Mm-hmm. When you come back up out of the water, you're supposed to be reborn. And it just from that moment, I think it really changed me. I wanted to do better for myself. I wanted to do better for the people around me because, I believe that's what being baptized does. So.
How did growing up in Puerto Rico affect you as a person and as a woman in America?
Puerto Rico is my love, it's my heart, it's everything inside of me. I love Puerto Rico, I love Puerto Ricans, I love the Puerto Rican culture, I love everything about it. When I was younger and I didn't have all these responsibilities, we used to go down there all the time. If I wasn't in school, we would be spending months there. And I lived in a beach house with all my family around me. We just kind of lived in our own gated community. Mm-hmm. It was really cool because I have such a big family and I have so many cousins, and all day, all night, we would just be running around at the beach doing this, doing that. So, as I got older, when I was probably in middle school, elementary school, I used to get told a lot of things. I used to feel a lot different from the people around me because I was always a lot darker. I used to be a lot darker. I used to, just feel different because everyone around here, looks a lot different than me. I used to hate being Puerto Rican. If a friend asked me what I am, I'd be like, oh, I'm Italian. I would never say I'm Puerto Rican. And then I think as I got older and I started appreciating the culture a lot more, now I love it and I appreciate it, and I love being Latina and I love being Puerto Rican. Mm-hmm. It's amazing.
What made you start your skincare line, and how do you think that's affected you?
So I took a lot of inspiration from my father because he has his own business. He's self-employed, he's an entrepreneur, and he's very successful in what he does. So, that's always something I wanted to do because my dad always tells me, he's his own boss, so he leaves when he wants, he does what he wants, he's the boss of his own company. So it's that's always something I wanted to do. So I just wanted to, it was 12 in the morning and I was like, I'm going to start a skincare line. And it was crazy. And, I spent the entire summer doing research and experimenting all these different kinds of things, the entire summer. So then by the time September came, I finally dropped it to, because I was in school and I was like, this is the perfect time. And it was a lot more work than I thought it was gonna be. That's the thing. Mm-hmm. And I loved it. I made so much profit in 2 weeks, but it just got so much that I just put it on pause for a while. So right now it's not really active, but it's definitely something I'm gonna pick back up eventually, you know, when I feel like I have enough time for it. But it definitely, you know, made me feel, give me more of that like leadership skills that I have and more like independence.
You are definitely known for being part of journalism and, you know, spreading news and things like that. What is it that makes you love journalism so much, and how do you feel that is like a big part of yourself?
Well, I started journalism when I was a sophomore, and I remember I wrote my first article. It was an editorial about my superstitions as a cheerleader, and the one, the only Miss Christina Vlamis edited my article, and she looked at me and she was like, you know, this is really good. Like, I think this is the right class for you. Like, you know, your voice is so strong when you write. Like, she brought it to a motto, and she was like, you know, I think this is a really good class for her. And after that first article that I wrote, I really just like fell in love with it, because writing has always been like a strong point for me. So, you know, once I really got into it, I was covering all these events, like almost every single event, you know, writing all these articles. So by the time I was a junior, I was put into a leadership role as the social media director. And so since I was a junior until now, you know, I've just had that role, and now I'm like president of the Quill and Scroll. So journalism definitely has shaped me into who I am.
And why do you think journalism is important to have in like our modern day society?
I think it's always important to report on the truth. You know, me personally, my favorite things to write about is when I travel and I write. Like when I traveled to Cuba, I wrote a whole article basically bashing all the misconceptions, because, you know, I like reporting on the truth. Or, you know, I wrote a whole article on when the governor of Puerto Rico resigned, and there was that whole chaos that happened. I was in Puerto Rico when that happened, so I wrote a whole article about that, because, you know, I really like reporting on different cultures, really, and just bringing them to light here at Woodland, because not a lot of people do their research on Cuba or Puerto Rico or Israel, so I like to bring those things into light here to like let people know the truth.
What are some main like values or sayings and things you live by, and like how do they play a role in your life?
Definitely, I like to live life in the moment and, you know, take everything in as it happens. I'm not the type of person that will dwell on my past or worry so much about my future. I just like to live in the present, in the moment. I try not to rush things. I think it's important because, you know, we can tend to stress ourselves out if we're stressing about what happened a week ago, or if we're worried about what's going to happen next year. Like, I think it's important to just live in our moment and, you know, be happy and have fun.
Yeah. What is your advice to women all around the world, or to girls of younger generations?
My advice would be to speak your truth. It's so important, you know, as a woman that we have the rights today to speak our truths, because we didn't always have it. So use it, you know, use your right. Be bold, be confident, always speak your mind. If something's not right, like, do the right thing. And if someone is, you know, saying, like, bringing you down, bringing someone else down, like, just always speak your truth. That's really all I have to say.